Hello, I'm Barnes Courtney, and these are my Marquee memories. I'm 15 years old, and my stepmom called me, said, I was just walking through town doing some shopping, and I noticed that the Foo Fighters are on sale. This is like a small town in England, Ipswich, and no big bands ever come through. And she said, I think that's one of the ones you like. So I got in line, and if you come and meet me, then you can take my place in line, and get these tickets, because I think they're gonna sell out pretty soon. And I hopped on my skateboard. It's all downhill from my house into town. So it was this terrifying death slide. I stood in line, and I think they might have been one of the first professional gigs that I ever saw. I think I really remember how funny Dave Grohl was. He had such a great natural sense of humor. The way that Dave Grohl just talked so casually with the audience, and there was so much back and forth because the venue was so tiny that it was so conversational. And I loved that him and Taylor Hawkins, when they were singing it, there was always so much teeth involved, It's it really added this extra element of vitality and aggression. Just very inspiring, okay, this is how you do it. So it was at the Fonda, and a friend of mine had tickets, so I just went down, and oh my God, they were just ludicrous. For a bunch of popular London lads, God, it's such an incredible show with a real flair. I've never seen a band with just so much raw ability to bore into the souls of every single person in the audience. I think one of the greatest things you can do as a performer is to take risks, because when you take risks, it puts you and the audience in the present. You can start to fall into a trap where you start to dial in the performance to such an extent that it loses all of its authenticity. So these guys really, really, definitely were very inspiring on that particular front. I signed my first record deal when I was around 19 and got dropped. I didn't know if I'd ever make music again professionally. And then a DJ put me on the main stage at Bumbershoot Festival in Seattle. And I was playing the slot just before Tame Impala. Tame Impala is one of my favorite bands. I mean, Kevin Parker is so interesting in his musicality and his ability to create these soundscapes and worlds and interlocking rhythms and melodies that sort of all distill perfectly. My mom and my brothers live in Seattle. I grew up in Seattle, so they were all there backstage. I remember my mom and I dancing to Tame Impala, doing this little squirrel dance. My mom is always supported by music when I had no business being on a stage. I love that I got to share that first foray back into the fold with her. Thanks for listening to my Marquee memories. Catch me on tour to make some of your own.